Thank you, my patients. Has anyone here ever felt nervous about public speaking? Have you ever felt your heart start to pound, your stomach start to churn, your forehead start to sweat? Well, you've come to the right place, as tonight I'm going to cure you once and for all. My remedy is something that I've learnt over the last 3 years at Toastmasters, and it's helped turn what was my greatest fear, public speaking, into a source of fun. I'm sharing it with you tonight because I know we've got many new speakers here at Toastmasters, but even for those experienced speakers, I hope this is perhaps a little different perspective on what you might already know. And I want to assure you all that my method is backed by sound research. In Harvard, they did a study where they took a group of people, much like yourselves, and they put them through a social stress test, which is very similar to what we do here at Toastmasters, where they forced them to do a 5-minute impromptu speech on their personal weaknesses, at the same time as having some light shining in their face, some cameras upon them, and a group of audience watching them, designed to give strong negative body language. And what they did is they randomly selected the people in this study, and they took them for 10 to 15 minutes and they trained them to think differently about those body reactions. They taught them to think about their heart pounding as helpful, as giving them the energy that they needed to perform. And what they found with these people is, yes, the heart continued to pound, but the blood vessels, rather than constricting, they opened up, and the body looked very similar to what it does during times of happiness and courage. So what they found is simply, in 10 to 15 minutes training, and I've only got you for 5 to 7, so I assume you're all very fast learners tonight. Simply changing the way they thought about those body reactions was enough to overcome the fears of public speaking. Now, it sounds too simple to be true, because I know many of you still, like myself, get nervous when we get up here. But I know it to be true, because I've been able to overcome one of my other body reactions to stressful situations. So for 30 years I lived with a condition that affects 2 million people in this country, 1 in 10 people, which is asthma. But 5 years ago I went to a community room much like this, and I heard about vertigo breathing invented by a Russian doctor. And I learned that when I have an asthma attack, it's because I'm actually over breathing and my throat would constrict to slow the breathing down. And I learned simply, rather than needing one of these, I could use my mind. And I could teach myself to breathe only through my nose and slowly with my stomach, and my throat would open up. So after that seminar, I practiced for a few months every day, just breathing through my nose and with my stomach, and I overcame my asthma. And I no longer carry one of these things around anymore. I can't remember the actual last time I had to put it in my mouth, which is good. So simply, I learnt to overcome my asthma, but I learnt much more than that. I learnt that I could just use my mind to overcome my body's reaction during stressful situations. And I've applied the same thinking here to Toastmasters. So now, as part of my preparation, not only do I practice what I'm going to say, what my body language is, and my wonderful vocal variety, but I also practice thinking about my heart pounding as positive, as giving me the energy that I need to perform. And so I'd like you all to please join me in a short exercise that I do in preparation for each speech, which have really helped me out. So can you please all close your eyes? I'd like you to imagine yourself in that situation where your heart is starting to pound, your stomach is churning, and you're starting to sweat. Perhaps it was right here in this room, right before your first icebreaker speech, or perhaps a big contest speech like Cynthia's just been through. Now I want you to shift your attention to your breathing and focus it solely on breathing through your nose and down within your stomach. Slow, deep breaths. Now I want you to turn your attention again and focus it on your next speech that you plan to have, whether it be here in Carlton Toastmasters or out in the real world. And I want you to imagine yourself thinking positively about your body's reactions, such as your heart pounding. Enjoy that feeling for a few moments, and then you may open your eyes. So I want you all, as my cue up for overcoming your fears of public speaking once and for all, to please write yourself down a script that in preparation for your next speech, you will not only practice your words, your body language, and your vocal variety, you'll also practice thinking positively about that beating heart and the other reactions that are happening in your body. And by doing so, it'll more quickly get you from fear to fun. Thank you.